I got a feeling that you got me covered too. I got you covered. I got you covered.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody is doing well tonight. Um, my hair is just on the side. It's just got a fling action going over here. It's just, whoo. At least it shows I've got some kind of hair. I've got very fine baby hair. Hi, New Horizons. How are you? I appreciate you stopping on in. We're going to talk tonight about love language because I really think it's important to understand people's in your family or in your sphere, your spouses, your children, your grandchildren, all those kind of things. I think it's really important to understand, hi Sandy, what your love language is and what their love language is. Especially when we're thinking about gifts for the holiday season. Maybe somebody that's not so much a gifter, but really loves words, a sweet note inside, a card or a sweet note or a phone call or a video chat would mean 10 times more to them than a gift that you would go out. And so we need to know what somebody's love language is, understanding what your love language is so you can communicate that to people surrounding you. Now, we just on a side note while we wait for people to come on in, we are doing a project with Crafty Witch on Wednesday. Looking forward to that at 7 p.m. So we're going to be connecting and crafting with Crafty Witch at 7 p.m. And I will put the supplies that you're going to need for that in here if you want to craft along with us while you're watching it. I'm going to go to the store and see if I can find a Dollar Tree next to my house, right? Find the canvases that don't have the wooden part to them, right? They are just the flat canvases. Usually they come in a pack of 3. They did not have them at the store that I went to. So I had to just get these. Hi, Haji, how are you? I had to get these because I needed canvases. So if I can't find them, they will do. They will work. And we're doing 3 of these projects. So you're going to need at least one 8x10 canvas. You can get them at the Dollar Tree. 10. Okay. Then you'll need one of those. If not, hi 7th. If not, then this would, but it's, thank you. Hopefully 2 canvases together. So, if you can't find the other, if you can find the canvas, one set of the canvases without the wood, that'll be best. I will put the description up with what the supplies are. When you go, I'm going to be literally going through my craft stash. I decided to go through and get stuff versus, no, we're not paint pouring. Crafty and I are not paint pouring. We're actually doing what is called a busted canvas look. So, by doing that, you're going to need at least 2. If you're doing one of them, you'll need one of the ones with the wood in the back, the 8x10, and then one without if you can't find it. If not, you can also go to Hobby Lobby. If not, then I think that we could still work it out by using 2 canvases. 2 canvases, together that have the wood in them. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to use, but you look at the ornaments You can choose ornaments. Look at the, maybe you have some Christmas bags at home. Look for Christmas bags for whatever design you want to do. I found these, so I'm going to be using these in my design. These are adorable. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, my 3 that we're going to do, but these are absolutely adorable. So we're going to be adding these. I'll show those. So pick out your decorations, go through your stash at home. If you've got ribbon, pull out that. You're going to need some Mod Podge. Usually that will be, I found 2 bottles. They're usually $1.25 at the Dollar Tree, and they're Mod Podge brand. So get some Mod Podge. You can get some scrapping paper. Understand though, I don't have scrap paper, and I'm not going to go out and buy any. I'm just going to use whatever I have. I'm going to use wrapping paper. I've got some other ideas. I know Crafty is going to be using some scrap paper. She said she had some. So, hi, Alfonso. So, go ahead and go get those supplies if you want to pick out an ornament to put in the middle of this thing. You can add jingle bells, whatever you want. It's a busted canvas look, and it almost looks 3D. It's really cool. We're doing 3 different looks, and we're not telling each other what it is. And I'm not telling you what it is. So if you want to participate, we'll let you know the supplies, and you can craft right along with us. And it looks like a lot of fun. And so I hope people will join us for that. So anyway, that is on Wednesday, 7 o'clock, and we will be on time. I promise. I was trying to get Josh's cookie recipe up, and I'm just really tired today. So I kind of tried to take it easy a little bit, and that's what I've kind of had to do today. So I know it was for 7, but I needed to put it back a little bit because I just could not get myself together until now, and I kind of don't even think I'm totally together yet. I actually, I usually have my tea, and I put 2 tablespoons of sugar in it, which I never do. I use that sugar in the raw stuff. I'm going to do the singing video tomorrow. I've been really working on the Christmas trees that I'm adding on to everybody that won something for the monetization. They're getting these in there just as an extra way of saying thank you so much for your patience. So we're going to do that. So let's get to the topic at hand. I really thought that this was a good topic to have tonight because we need to know what people's love language is. And I don't know if anybody has explored it or if you know what your love language is. Do you know what your love language is? There's 5. There's acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, words of affirmation, and physical touch. Okay, those are the 5 love languages. I am at the top, and I took a test earlier. And I can always put that in the chat if you want to take a moment. It was free. So I will put it in the chat if anybody wants to take a moment and later on do it. My acts of service, words of affirmation were 40%. The next section is for me is quality time. The next one after that is acts of service. The next one after that is physical touch. The next one after that, and the last one is receiving gifts. So that was, it wasn't surprising that the first one for me was absolutely going to be acts of service or affirmation, words of affirmation. I was not surprised. That didn't surprise me in any way, shape, or form. Hold on a second. And I will put it in the chat. And you can take it. We may get a raid from Tuber Chat because they know we're live. And I saw something. I don't know if we'll get it, but we may get a raid from Tuber Chat. That would be nice. They're an awesome, awesome channel if you're a new creator and you need really some knowledge and make some connections and friends and so forth. They're wonderful. We love Kevin over at Tuber Chat. So here's the love language test. If you want to take it and find out what your love language is, because it's really important that we understand what it is. It is really important, and I will put Tuber Chat link in the chat if anybody hasn't connected with Tuber Chat yet. So that's important to understand what your love language is. Okay? So, acts of service. I hit a button and it said goodbye. It also fixed my camera problem because I didn't know why it was so small on there. So I don't feel like I'm so much in a hole. These pashminas are so great because if it's just a little chilly out, I can just put it on and come on and be nice and warm. The acts of service is the love language involves expressing affection through helpful actions, doing things for others, and making their lives easier and more enjoyable. These tasks could be cooking a meal, helping with chores, providing practical support for someone whose prime love language is acts of service. Through these thoughtful deeds are powerful and express love and caring. So, for instance, if you have a spouse that their love language is acts of service, and you're writing all these little notes and everything like it, and they absolutely love when you take out the trash, or when you do a load of laundry for them, or when you pick something up at the store that they need, or you see something needs to get done. They like the acts of service that make their life easier. Or if you bring them their coffee in the morning. I bring my husband his coffee every morning. But his love language is touch. But acts. Hold on, my mic I think came out. Did it come out or no? Can you all hear me? Something happened, but we'll figure it out. So the acts of service. So if you have somebody in your family, there we go. If you have, I'm so used to hearing myself in my ears that I can't do it any other way. So if you think about acts of service, think about finding out what your spouse, what your children, what your family, your friends, what is their love language? What says to them, I care about you, I love you, you're important. If you are spending time with somebody that their love language, for my mother, it's acts of service. If you're spending time with somebody whose love language is acts of service, and I'm spending time, even though she enjoys that, she knows I love her, it means more to her when I do things that make her life easier. So it gets here in a way that it's not going to get anyplace else. The second one that's on the list is receiving gifts. We all know about that one, right? This one is a characterized by appreciating of tangible symbols of love. People with this language value the thought and effort. Listen to that. It's not just going out and buying a gift. It's the thought and the effort behind doing it. Okay? Effort put into selecting or creating meaningful gifts. It's not about the material value, but rather the emotional and significant attachment of the gestures, whether it's a small token or a thoughtful present the act of giving and receiving gifts becomes a powerful way to express the thoughtfulness and affection for those who favor this love language. So it doesn't have to be expensive. If somebody likes the act of gifts, it doesn't have to be expensive. Think about maybe going to the store, their favorite candy bar is a certain thing, right? If they love a certain candy bar, right? Pick them up their favorite candy bar, right? And bring it home, you know? It doesn't have to be expensive. Maybe it's a little card. You can get little note cards at Dollar Tree. Maybe leave them a little card and put a little candy on it, right? It doesn't have to be expensive. I don't know about us girls, but just a hint, men, we'd rather have one single red rose. I know I would, maybe not all women would. I'd rather have one single red rose once a month sporadically, you know, and when it happens, it's nice. I'd rather have one rose sporadically every month brought home to me than 12 roses all at once that I don't see another one till next year. So maybe going and picking up a single red rose, or maybe going and getting somebody their favorite coffee from someplace that they otherwise wouldn't get it from. Does not need to be expensive. It just needs to be meaningful. There needs to be a thought behind it. Okay? So just think about that. It could be lip balm or something like that. Just little things, or something that you even handmade and gave them if you're crafty. Just the act of doing something and thinking about it. This is Christina's love language, quality time. The love language emphasizes the significance of undivided attention, which means when somebody's love language is this, you put your phone down and eye to eye, pay attention, make them the center of the world for a little bit. Shared expressions in expressing love. For individuals who lean towards this love language, spending meaningful, focused time with their partners is paramount. It's about creating moments of connection and engagement, engaging in deep conversation, sharing activities together. Quality time does not necessarily require grand gestures, but rather an intentional presence and genuine interest in the other person's company. In a world filled with distractions, prioritizing quality time allows for emotional closeness and strengths that bonds of intimacy in relationships. So, like, if you know somebody loves and that's their love language is quality time, guess what? Pick out maybe their Christmas gift is spending time on the phone with them if you're long distance. Maybe sending them a gift through the mail is not is they're going to like it, but maybe just carving out an hour and spending that time with them on the phone would mean more than going and getting something. If they're local, go take them out to lunch for a Christmas gift. Say, listen, I want to spend some time with you. Take them out to lunch and take them out and sit with them and talk with them and spend that time. Go take them to the movies for a Christmas gift. Go do something outside the box that's going to hit that love language in a way that they're going to hear it, that they've never heard it before. And I wouldn't go up to people that you're acquaintances with and say, oh, what's your love language? I'm talking about children, nieces, nephews, grandchildren, people within your family, people that you're close to and close friends with. You can say, listen, I want to make sure that I'm hitting the love language that means something to you. Do you know you have a love language? And if they say, no, I don't know what that is, well, let's find out what it is, right? You can go on the internet. That's one test of many. First one I did, it was going to ask me for my email. This one didn't. Find out what their love language is and then hit towards that. And you can ask a friend, what is it? Curiosity. If you're taking the test, maybe that's chat's why they're busy taking their test. If you're comfortable, you can put it in the chat if you want. Now, this one is mine, words of affirmation. This love language involves expressing love and affection through verbal communication. Surprise, 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 right? I'm a talker. Absolutely. Anyone who counts this as their love language values hearing words of encouragement, appreciation, reassurance, and affirmation. Simple compliments, love messages, or words that acknowledge their efforts can be profoundly impacted in making someone with this love language feel valued and loved. So, see, he scored 37%. So, if that's your highest one, Alfonso, for physical touch, then that's your love language. So, if you all just read that, if you heard what I just read, and you realize that that is my love language, you can understand why, for me, when sometimes it can get a little bit, am I doing anything kind of thing. When I turn on the light, this channel, and I turn on the live, and nobody's coming in, or there's not a lot of chat going on in the conversation. Am I okay? Am I doing this okay? Am I doing what we set out to do, which is to be able to open and be an anchor of communication and support for people, right? I don't, and so you can see why it's not, and I want to explain this. It's not a false praise when somebody is looking for words of affirmation. This is not, oh, you're doing a great. No, they want genuine stuff. This is why I used to say to my dad, Dad, I'd rather you hit me than verbally yell at me, because it used to crush me as a kid. This is why bullying for me was on such a high level, because, I mean, it really got here. And everybody would say to me, I wish Mary wouldn't be so sensitive. Well, you know what? I'm sensitive because of this. And I'm also have a sensitivity that I feel that is God given to some degree, because I had a child. If people understand autism, people with autism struggle with their emotions. And because I was a little bit more sensitive and a little bit more tuned in to my daughter, I could get to her if she was having a problem, and able to pinpoint it in a really unique way. And I'm very thankful I had that. But by reading this, maybe you can start to understand, okay, well, this is why, and I think it was the other day. It was not yesterday, it was the day before, and I haven't responded back. And somebody left a really sweet comment, and I'm like, you don't know how much I needed to hear that. And when my husband just thanks me and he says, honey, I love you, you're doing a great job, or just the simplest things, it means the world to me, because I need that feedback. We have always ended our phone calls, no matter what, with I love you. Usually happens, right? Hands down, it usually happens. And so we always do that. We end with I love you. And it's just, I need to hear that. I need to hear that I'm doing a good job. I need those words to just, it's not patting me on the back, but it's just something that gets to my heart. It's why when Christina would have a meltdown, and she would not be within, her computer was crashing, and she would just, come out with stuff. It was why I was so hard when she would say things I knew she didn't mean, but she was not in control of herself. And I'd sit there going, this is crushing me. And I had to just put on a mom serious face and let it go later. This is why when my dad forgot my name, it was so impactful for me, because it was here. It tugged on my heart in a special way. So helping to understand that, for instance, I have a niece. I'm not going to give out the name. I have a niece. I have two nieces, and one sweetest little girl on the planet, but she is very quiet, and she's a very affected by people when they raise their voice. My other niece doesn't bother her for nothing. So I have a feeling that she's probably a little bit of words of affirmation, possibly quality time. But the point of that is that very different in how those two children need to be parented, because the one just looks at you when you're I don't she nothing phases that kid. She's a pistol and I love her. So that's words of affirmation. Physical touch. The love language involves expressing affection, physical contact like hugs and kisses and holding hands or other forms of touch. For people with this love language, physical touch can be very powerful means of communication. Conveying love, comfort, reassuring, intimacy. It goes beyond the physical proximity and becomes a vital aspect of expressing love and building strong connections. So somebody that needs a physical touch may just need a hug a little bit more, right? They just may need a pat on the shoulder to say you're doing a good job, right? That a boy, that a girl. They may need something, or if you're dating somebody that has physical touch as their love language, maybe it's really special when you take their hand out in public. Um, or you're in the movies and you're holding the hands, or you're driving and you just take their hand and you hold their hand for a moment, when you're at a stoplight or something like that. Just taking that, and maybe even just taking their hand and just giving it a couple squeezes to say, I love you. You know what I mean? Or when Christina was little, we used to draw little images on her back and she would try to guess them. So maybe that's something that when somebody that likes that physical touch, it doesn't have to be physical intimacy touch. I'm talking about in a broader sense. This is not trigger warning sexual kind of touch. I'm not talking about that. When you're talking about physical touch, I'm talking about it goes a lot more, I think, just doing more of the, just the basic things that we don't think of. That person may need a hug. If they're a mom and they've worked all day and they're tired and they've dealt with the kids and they're pulling their hair out, when the husband comes in the door, they very well may need to have a hug pretty quickly, just to reassure and say, I'm here. Thank you for all you do. It's their way of hearing, good job. I love you. Thank you for all you do. So it's really important. The benefit of learning learning somebody's love language is understanding your partner's love language. And it's also really important. It takes a while for kids to really get their love language, but it's really important to understand your child's love language, your grandchild's love language, your nieces and nephews' love language. Physical touch is very important to me, Seventh says. So that's his love language. So to me, this goes beyond just a partner kind of relationship kind of thing. I think that we need to know people's love language on a whole, uh, on a lot better. I think we could do a lot better if we understand it. Can transform your relationship, enhancing communication, deepening connection, fostering a sense of emotional intimacy. And then, knowing and understanding love language will help you sincerely wants to communicate love to their spouse. And so, you know, uh, I truly believe, honestly, that learning somebody's love language. Here's one thing to read. It's not enough to simply determine each other's love language. It must you must then choose to speak it. Okay? Because if love is a choice, this kind of love doesn't start with a feeling. Falling in love starts with warm, bubbly, all that kind of stuff. But once you come down off that high, you must choose the attitude of love every single day. I know this is looking at it from a perspective of partner kind of thing. But I think we need to look from it from a perspective of you need to know what your love language is, right? You should be knowing my love language is this. I have no problem telling people, guess what? My love language is words of affirmation. That's it. You can that's what I need. That's what my love language is. Not ashamed to say it, right? But I mean, in a friendship, hi Brazy, how are you, hun? In a friendship, I think that too, if you're again, this is not for you if you're in a work environment to go up to your coworkers. What's your love language? We don't need to be doing all that in a workplace and all that kind of stuff. But if you've got friends, right? If you've got friends and they're close friends and family and grandchildren and nieces and nephews, right? And so forth, and your spouses, we should be taking the time to get to know each other's love language, right? We should be taking the time to understand what they are and making sure that we're understanding them, because my dad, God love him, but he didn't take the time to do that. And he probably would have been a lot better to communicate with me, and if he'd taken the time to do that. I think for him it was quality time. My mother was acts of service, my dad was quality time. Acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch. You should be knowing what your love language is. You should be being able to communicate to your family, this is my love language, right? This is what something that says to me when it happens, I love you. And if we're thinking about it when we're trying to raise our children, when I have grandchildren, hopefully God one day I will, I'm going to be, and this is not something you can tell from a little baby, but as they grow, I'm going to be paying attention to what they need. Is it spending more time with them? Is it buying little thoughtful little gifts here and there? I think for my other niece, I think that's one thing it is, because every time we see her, she'll say, "Oh, you got something for me, Aunt Mary." And she knows I do. I always bring something for, even if it's just a big, huge coloring book from Dollar Tree, I'll bring her a little something. And so, the thing is that we need to understand, and I need to understand when I have the milligram babies, what their love language will start to develop to. And for Christina, I learned it was time. For her, time means a heck of a lot of stuff. And it truly means the world when I take the time with her. And that means a lot. So understanding that in our children can mean a heck of a lot when we're trying to raise them. And the same for our nieces and nephews, the same for our close friends and family. Again, these are things that during the holiday season, this is why I chose to kind of do this topic on love languages, because I thought maybe you have someone, and I would do this with somebody you're close to. I would not be doing it with acquaintances or coworkers or all that stuff. I would be doing it with people that you feel comfortable with, that you have built a relationship with. Remember, it takes 200 hours to build relationships with other people. Really close connections and relationships, and say, you know what? I want you to know that I care about you. I want you to know that I love you. Do you know you have a love language? Do you know what it is? And if their thing is acts of service, then maybe bringing them a dinner would mean the world to them. The lady that I bring the 2 chickens to, I think hers is acts of service. It means the world to her when I bring 2 Sam's, they're older people, and we bring them occasionally 2 Sam's Club's chickens, right? And she is just over the moon about the chickens. Maybe if I was acts of service, maybe our uh she's not close enough to ask, but we used to have a neighbor. My mom, she'd bring down her trash, and then my mom would always take it up by her door so she didn't have to walk so far. So finding out somebody's acts of service, what is their acts of service, is really, really important, because you could be getting them a gift and you're going to want, and I'm not saying anybody's going to look at a gift and go, oh, that's beautiful. But you know what? What if somebody's is quality time? Okay. If their access, if their love language is quality time and you live locally to them and you say, you know what, I just want to find out, do you know what your love language is? Because I want you to know this holiday season that I care and love you and you're important in my life. What is your love language? Right. And they may be no, they may not. And if not, send them one of the tests I put up there earlier, or there's free test online to look, right? And if theirs come back quality time, you know what I want to do this holiday season? I want to take you. You got a restaurant that you like? Let's go out to dinner. Let's go out to lunch. Let's go out for coffee. Is there a movie you want to see? I'll take you to the movies. And if they're not local, then maybe calling them on the phone, on the FaceTime, and maybe saying, I've got an hour of undivided, you've got my attention for an hour. It does not mean that if you have little ones, the kids are running around and interrupting and all that, that means you maybe have your spouse or so forth take care of the kids, or you go out someplace where you can have quiet and you give them an hour or two undivided attention. And just say to them, doesn't mean you don't have to send them a Christmas card, but say to them, you know what? That's your Christmas gift, because I want you to know I love you. And that would mean the world. You know what I said to my husband? And I'll tell you all what I said to him. I said to him this year, he said of course he loves purchasing gifts for people, and he puts such great thought into it. So I already got you some gifts. And I said, well, honey, you know what I want? I don't want any of them. He said, what do you mean? I said, if you already got them for me, there's not really anything you can do to undo it. But you know what I want for you? I want you to start taking more of an active role in your own health. Because I don't want to bury you one more second sooner second than I need to. If it means you've got to get to the pool and we got to get you walking more and you've got to help me do that so we can be more on a schedule. If it means that, he's got people like chiropractors I've been trying to tell him for the past 2 months he needs to call. And, I can only do so much. And if I take over all that for him, then it doesn't leave it in his hands to take responsibility for it. But I just simply said to him, I love you enough, and that's what I want for a Christmas gift. Because gifts are at the bottom of my list. The very, very bottom of my list. Words of affirmation are here. And you know what? He looked at me and he said, you've got to be kidding me. I said, no. He said, do you know how much I love you? Well, you've just given me my Christmas gift. You've confirmed what I've said, that that's all I want. And you told me that you love me. And he said to me, I don't know where I'd be without you. Nothing else that this girl needs from him for Christmas. I got it all in that conversation. And I was crying while I said it because I love him. But I want him to take control of what he needs to take control of. And it be in his hands. It can't be in mine. And my daughter called me the other day, or my mom actually, and said, what do you think about doing Christmas on the 26th? That's fine. Because we went away with her on Thanksgiving. And I'm going to call them kids. They're still kids. They always will be kids. But I told them when they were married, I'm not going to have you guys divide. I'm not going to have you divide between the two things. You all can, you all can, you all can, you guys, we don't have to celebrate Christmas on Christmas. So Christmas this year for us is going to be the 26th. So we'll wake up, we'll have our breakfast. We decided we're probably going to get some apple, they're not apple cinnamon. They're so good though. Apple cider donuts from the Apple store, right? The day is the 26th. Well, that's awesome. So we'll be in good standing, right? Right, Brazy? So it's all about trying to, I thought this was such a good point in the things. I think that we need to remember that gifts do not need to be here. They do not need to be necessarily something that you can pick up and touch and handle, right? Oh my gosh, they are so good. Oh my goodness. And you walk into this place and just smell, oh my. And they have an apple pie, no Cindy or Sandy, the toppings like this high. It doesn't have to be something tangible, right? It can be something that's not so tangible. You can take, if it's somebody that likes receiving gifts, you could go and get, I told Spanx about these $1.25 canvases from Dollar Tree. Go get some paint and pour on it. You just made a gift that you've done yourself. What about all those ornaments we did? It can be as simple as that. What about the crochet ornaments that I'm working on and that I'm deciding is going to go in everybody's gift that's been waiting for their thing? Because I wanted to just say thank you for your patience, right? So I'm working on this with some leftover yarn. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. Now, I have gotten enough canvases because I said to my mama today, I need you to do me a favor. She goes, what? And I said, I want to have you do a paint pour. And she's never done it before to prove that anybody can paint pour and can't mess it up. Okay? But it's as simple as getting this. They've got little smaller canvases at Dollar Tree, and you could do something like that. It doesn't have to be something tangible that we're looking at for gifts for people. If their love language is not receiving gifts and it's quality time and it's somebody close to you, right? Then the quality time should be the gift, right? If physical touch is what their love language is, then maybe give them a couple extra hugs, right? In the month of November or the month of December, if they're right there with you. I remember when Christina got married, I made a point of going to her every solitary day up until the day she got married, and I gave her a hug every day, and I said, I'm giving you a hug every day in August. Now, physical touch is not her first love language. I said, I'm giving you a hug every day because I knew after the 26th she wasn't going to be living with us. So I wanted to make sure she had a hug every solitary day she was here. If words of affirmation is somebody's, what about sending them a card a couple times? Maybe sending them a Christmas card, but maybe sending them a couple extra cards during the month. Or what about email? Or what about text? It's free. What about saying for the month of December, if somebody's word of affirmation, which is what this girl is, and it's not a pat on the back. Hi Lewis, how are you? It's not a pat on the back. Welcome from Facebook. It's not a pat on the back, right? That sits there and says, okay, good job. And you're trying to butter them up. It's just what hits. Well, welcome. It's what hits here. So, if that's what their love language is, we've got these devices here. Send them a text every day. Hey, just want to let you know I'm proud of you. Hey, I want you to know I love you. Send them a little bit of sending you a hug, something, and that's their present. If there's somebody that You know, if there's somebody that um what is it? If there's somebody that loves words of affirmation, you could come up with your own little coupon book for Christmas, right? That little things that you want to do, right? Or leave little notes, especially if you have a kid, that's what their love language is, right? Put little notes in their lunchbox, and they can be little different notes. They don't have to be the same. If it's quality time, if you have one kid that's what their time is, and you've got several children, then take that child out to lunch. Once a month or a couple times, you know, a little, every 3 months, take them out just by themselves. Give them that quality time that they need. Find out what each other's love language is and think, hi, crocheting, think outside the box of what maybe you can give to somebody, right? That's not necessarily a tangible gift. And the only one that's really tangible is receiving gifts. That's one of the love language, but it doesn't have to be receiving diamonds and jewels. It can be as simple as just making sure that when you're giving them a gift, there is thought behind it, right? If you have a wife that's what their love language is, then you ask them. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll say the same thing. Maybe go pick them up a rose every month. Don't do it the same day, guys, right? Don't do it the same day. The 15th, we know that there's a rose coming. Sporadically put it throughout the whole thing, throughout the whole year, and go pick them up a rose. If they like a cup of coffee, a certain kind of cup of coffee, right? Every once in a while, go buy them a coffee and maybe drop it off at work. If they like those little gifts, think outside the box, right? It can be a little card, you know, if 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 acts of service is their love language and the dishwasher is full and it's clean, empty it and put it away. And then when they come in there, the dishwasher's empty. Maybe even put a little note that says, I love you. I mean, it doesn't have to be extensively. It can be really, really easy stuff. When I worked for 20 years in long-time care, many had no family. I was sure to hug them daily. Touch is primal need. Absolutely. I agree with that. That is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love that. But it doesn't have to be, a lot. If you have a wife, and I'm not necessarily picking on husbands, but if you have a wife, right, and their love language is acts of service, and you come home and your clothes are like on the way to the bedroom like hot potatoes, pick them up, put them in the laundry basket. If you have a husband that acts of service is his thing, and he takes out the trash, why don't you take out the trash and say, here, I did it for you because I love you. My mother, 99% of the time, takes out the trash. Well, I had to go outside night to get something from the car, and the trash can was right there. It was trash night, and I rolled it down, not very far, rolled it down to the end of the street, to our end of our driveway. And I said, here you go. It was snowing. She said, thank you very much. So it does not have to be this intense thing, but when we find out, especially our spouse's love language, it makes it a heck of a lot easier. Because if you're somebody for yourself, let's say, um, acts of service is your love language, and you are doing all these little things, right? Like, emptying the dishwasher, even though that's nice. I mean, you could empty the dishwasher for me all day long. Doing a load of laundry, I will thank you for it. But if the other spouse, their love language is words of affirmation, and you go up to them and just look and say, I just want you to know I love you. Or every once in a while, my husband will say 143, and I'll know exactly what that is, and that means I love you, and I'll smile, right? And so, if taking the time to do that really makes a huge difference. If you're trying to do acts of service and you're thinking, why doesn't they see that? Right? It's because their love language could be very different from what your love language is to you. If somebody emptied the dishwasher, it would mean, oh, they love me. It would mean the world, right? But if you need the other, then there's a miscommunication going off. It doesn't mean that the dishwasher still, if it's full and you can empty it to make somebody's life easier, then empty the dang on dishwasher, right? I see that and I appreciate that, and I will look at it when I am done. This is a channel worth of communication and connection, and so I will take a look at it when I will done, and I will let you know. I appreciate, Lewis, that you reaching out to us, and welcome to our channel, and I will take a look at it and I will let you know. But anyway, that's what we have to do. We have to look at that, right, from a perspective of taking the time to do it. And 7th says, I'm a deputy sheriff without my house. I'm deputy sheriff without my house yesterday evening, and he put his hand on my shoulder, and it was exactly what I needed. See? It doesn't need to take this whole thing of anything that needs to be done in any special way. Just that you're taking the time to find out what the person is and what their love language is so you can express it. Now, like 7th, he can maybe say, if he's close enough with that friend, you know what? I needed that. That really meant a lot when you put your hand on my shoulder. By the way, it's a very Greek thing to, we go to the Greek festival and there's hands on, so he'll come up and a hand on the shoulder and it's like nothing to us because that's Greek. But it doesn't mean that if the dishwasher is full and their love language is words of affirmation, oh, I don't need to unload the dishwasher. Unload the dishwasher. Make their life easier. Don't just skip over that and do it. But it means that if you're trying to hopefully get them to understand, I did the dishwasher. See, I did the dishwasher. I unloaded the dishwasher. And I'm trying to make your life easier. And they say, thank you very much. But they're not over the moon, right? They're not over the moon about it. And you're sitting there waiting for them to give you more. But maybe if you go up to them and say, I just want you to know how much you mean to me and I love you, they're gushing. It's not that they didn't appreciate the dishwasher emptied. Of course they appreciated the dishwasher being emptied. But where you got to their heart and got to their love languages from what you said. It was those words of affirmation. And I really thought that this was important to understand the different words of the different love languages, because I hope that will make everybody understand where I'm sitting and understand me better, if it helps that. I'm not looking for a pat on the back and hearing good job, even though that's very nice, and I'll eat it up. I'm not looking for that. But just those little encouragements really help me. I can say that I don't know how Tommy does it or did it 2 shows a day. I have no idea how he did it. I know that it's taking a toll on this body. And it's fine for the month of December. I'm doing it because I really want to make sure nobody in December does not have a place that they can come to and talk and connect and have the light open. I have no problem doing it. I can't do it continuously. There is no way I could do it. I need my day or 2 break in between alive. I don't know how he did it. But I'm grateful he did. you know, and I can see where after a portion of time, you kind of get burned out. I get it, but having those little bits of encouragement, you know, I don't know how if Brazy when she comes in here and says, "Mary, how you doing, sunshine?" I light up. It means something to me. When Seventh comes in and says, "How you doing?" "Ahoy." And he comes in and he talks about the ripples. I smile. And Sandy Wandy when I see her and she says, "How are you doing?" And she encourages me. You all encourage me in little tiny ways. I don't know if you realize how much you do. I I hope you do, but I don't know if you realize how much you do. That I feel like I'm doing something that is important to everybody because it makes me feel really good to know that I'm just not spinning my wheels. I'm doing what I set out to do when we first started this. Well, it wasn't when we first started this channel, but when we first went live. I didn't want anybody to be by themselves with no connection and no place to go, whether they were having a great day and they were having a win and they needed a floppy trophy to come out and say, "Good job," or they were having a so-so day, or they were having a real rough day and they had nobody to talk to, and this place was open to them. I wanted it to be here. What has happened in this journey is I have realized I've had a place for my mouth. And that sounds terrible the way I just said it, but it means I have the gift of gab. I need to talk. It is absolute. It's not a want, it's a need. And I need a place to vocalize all the stuff going on in this head of mine. I'm a verbal thinker. I need to talk. I think I have a lot of life experience that I can, send over to a lot of people, hopefully. And I've gleaned from it. And hopefully, people, even if just they glean one little thing, if an autistic mother realizes that she's not by herself, if somebody that's dealing with a parent who has dementia realizes they're not by themselves, if you all realize you're not by yourself, you have a number one fan. It's me. Of every solitary one of you all, I'm your number one fan. I think you all guys are rock stars. Mary, you're true sunshine in my life. You touch me deeply. I love you. You really do. I love to mail you a hug, but the Canadian Post is on strike. Seriously, much love goes to you. Well, it goes right back. And I can give you this way. There you go, Brazy. That's as best I as best I can do. Tell the Canadians to get back on the job, right? But anyway, you know, that's why I just really think that we should take this. If you don't know what your love language is, find out what it is. And don't be afraid to tell people what it is. I would tell it to people in which you trust. Because I think if you tell it to people that you're not tremendously close to, or people that you're a little unsure about, I think it can be used in not the best way, or maybe a malicious way, possibly. So I think you need to make sure that you're communicating your love language to somebody in which you have trust in. I really do. But you need to know what your love language is. And you need to challenge not only you, but whoever your partner is, what your love language is. So you can speak to them in their love language. If their love language is different than yours, you're speaking Spanish and they're speaking English, and the two aren't jiving. You both got to be speaking, you may be speaking different love languages, but if you communicate with each other what those love languages are, now you're speaking the same language. And maybe when they start doing things, there's a gentleman and his name is Gary. Oh, I'm going to forget his name. Oh, what is his name? Mark Gungan. Wonderful, wonderful. He has a thing called Laugh Yourself to a Better Marriage. If Your Way to a Better Marriage. He's great. He's a great speaker. But he was talking about women and men. And one thing that he said that was very interesting, he said, men, if we're looking at point system, they unload the dishwasher, they give themselves 100 points. Women, they unload the dishwasher for them, they give them, ding, 1 point. They do this, ding, 1 point. Ding, 1 point. He said, we're giving ourselves mega points for certain things that the women are ding 1 point, ding 1 point, ding 1 point. And he said he went and he was at a truck stop or something. He picked up a card for his wife with $1.49. His wife has since passed away. He's remarried of cancer. And his wife, he picked out this little card and it said this, the world wouldn't be the same or something, and a little sweet message on it, right? And inside the message was there, and he put a little note in it. He put it on the countertop and he waited for her to pick up the note. And he said, she opened up the note and she said, ding, ding, ding. It was just a very simple thing. But it meant the world to her for this little note to be left on the counter. So just start exploring. If you're comfortable enough to take the test and tell us what your love language is, then that's fine. I happen to find out that my Braille cards are making people cry. They tell me that it's very special to them. That is awesome, Alfonso. And that could be a way that you're able to kind of extend a physical touch to them, because they're literally having to use their fingers to go over the Braille, right? And that's awesome that you're able to do that. And so we have to think about gifts in a different manner. Maybe something, if you know somebody that their thing is acts of service, maybe if you know that they're struggling or something, you're going to maybe go ahead and get them a meal. It doesn't need to be thing. You can go to Sam's Club, or you can go to any grocery store and pick up a chicken. You go to Sam's Club, they're $4.98. Pick up 2 chickens, right? Go ahead and get some mashed potatoes. They're delicious mashed potatoes. They're Sam's Club mashed potatoes, Yukon mashed potatoes. Pick up a dessert. Pick up some rolls. You may have to go. The only thing they have is broccoli now. But you can pick up a salad, a Caesar salad. And now you've got dinner. You drop it off at their house and say, here you go. And that's their Christmas present. We need to think out of the box. It does not need to come from a store. It's one of the reasons why Brazy and I are doing this project. Now, for those people that weren't here when I first talked about it, I'm going to put the list on what you need if you want to craft along with us in the description on the community tab. You're going to need an 8x10 frame. You got these at Dollar Tree. I've been trying to tell Spanx about them. You need one with the wood, okay? Now, I couldn't find one without the wood. Oh, Brazy, for a chicken dinner, sweetheart. Thank you so much for a chicken dinner. Oh, my goodness. That is so sweet. Thank you so much. You're a sweetheart, and we love you. Anyway, and I'll go get a chicken dinner, believe me. I love going to get their chickens at Sam's Club. You just get a chicken and you get that. I mean, it's $4.98, the mashed potatoes, the Caesar salad, and you can put it all together for about $20. So thank you so much, sweetheart. Anyway, if you want to, yes, it can. It can go to anyway. It's awesome when you can do that. So if you can't find the other kind of canvas, and I'm going to go to my other Dollar Tree and see if I can find it. They are just flat canvases. They don't have the wood attached. They're usually 3 in a pack. But the only one they had in that was an 8x8. And that was not going to be the same size. They need to be the same size. So it's like a canvas, flat canvas versus the wooden canvas. This one says stretch canvas. So you're looking for the flat canvas. You want the 2 canvases to stick together. We'll show you how to do it. If I can't find the flat canvases at Dollar Tree for the 8x10, then I'm just going to use this way, and I'm probably going to figure out a way to support the back a little bit. I'm going to go through my craft stash and get all the stuff. The one thing that I did pick up was like, go find things like you like these were adorable. So I picked these up because it's kind of going with my theme. We're going to do 3 separate, and they're called busted canvases. We're going to bust through. She has, hi Crafty, there you go. I picked up my canvases, at least this. I could not find at the Dollar Tree I went the flat canvases without the wood. So if I can't, then I'm going to just use the 2 stretch canvases. Anyway, go find maybe some ornaments that speak to you. You could use, as long as they fit kind of, I would say kind of, you need some room on the sides of the canvas, right? Were you able to find the flat ones, or did you find just the ones with the stretch? I couldn't find the flat. I'm going to go back and see if I can find the 8x8 of the flat, or 8x10 of the flat ones. Find some ornaments, and if you could put a picture in, and you want enough so you've got enough canvas to peel. You found it. I'll have to go look. You peel it back right now. Crafty has scrapbook paper, right? And if by chance I don't have scrapbook paper, I've got wrapping paper I'm going to use. I may have some cardstock in the garage. I have some other ideas for some other things. You could even, if you wanted to, you could cover it in tinfoil. We're going to get very creative on how we do it in case people, have some stuff and material that they wouldn't think they can use in these that I think we could use. So Crafty and I are not telling each other, dying to know, but don't tell me. And I'm not telling her what we're doing, what our themes are for our 3 canvases. But I've got 6 of these because you need 2 for each project. So I've got 6 canvases because we're doing 3 different. You wanted the black ones, but the wrong size. Yeah. I got 6 of them because we're going to do 3 separate ones because we'll be on for a while. I think they'll go pretty quick too. But that'll be fun. If you want to participate with us, we will put in what you need. And this would also make a great gift. Look for ribbon. I am going to go through my craft stash and I'm going to pull stuff out. I thought I'm only buying exactly what I need that I don't have at home. And the rest of it, I'm going to go through all my craft stuff. I've got 2 bins of craft stuff. I got stuff in the garage, and go through and find some things that I can use and use up for this project other than buying it. So if you want to join us for, I can't wait, but don't tell me. We're going to keep it a surprise. She's going to come on my channel. So I'm going to send her a link so she can start sharing this on her channel. It'll be 7 p.m. Eastern. So she's going to come on my channel. We're going to co-stream on each other's channels. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about, I have to look, guys, because I changed the titles. I thought I'm changing titles, changing the thumbnail so people don't think we're having the same conversation every day. We're not. Hold on. And all right, Crafty, I'll see you. I cannot wait. I am looking forward to it tremendously. We are going to talk about Picture Perfect Christmas. Anybody have Picture Perfect Christmas stuck in their head? Normal Mockwell, picture perfect. And what happens when it's not so picture perfect? And I've got an example of picture perfect. Then on Tuesday, we're going to talk about what is connection. Done a little bit of experiment if you haven't realized that. And I'm trying to see. We've spent half the month not putting a title for anything, right? To see if it made a difference whether the title was there and we had an actual topic. Because I think people have forgotten, not necessarily have forgotten. I don't think people totally know how to do this sometimes, the whole conversating on the thing. And they don't quite know how to do it on this. And I think that, I would love for you all to take the lead, and we do. But I think we need something to get going. So there's a little bit of an experiment on that. And then, of course, Wednesday, we've got connection with Crafty. Connection and Crafty, crafting, I should change that. So we've got Picture Perfect tomorrow. We're going to talk about what if it's not picture perfect. And then I'm going to, guys, I am tired tonight. I can tell it in my voice. And I need to go to bed. I didn't go to bed till about 3:30 in the morning, and I was up at 8 o'clock trying to I went to church, and I did take a nap. I decided I got off the live last night, which was long, and then, which was fine. And then I thought, it was like by then it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, but I put everything away. And then I took the angel that Christina found in a stocking that had been there forever. I thought I'll wash it, clean up a little bit, and one of the wings fell off. So I had to make an emergency crafting thing to fix it because I wanted to wear it to church because she had given it to me and found it. And then I thought, well, once I got the glue to stick and it work, I had to the hot glue stuff, I had to bling it up with a little bling. So it was probably about 3:30 in the morning before I put my head to the pillow, and 8 o'clock came, and it was dreary, and it was like, all I wanted to do was sleep in. I didn't. I went to church, and then I did take a little bit of a nap this afternoon, but I'm still tired. So I'm still going to do the song video. I'm going to do that tomorrow night. I'm not going to try to attempt it tonight. I'm trying to really work on these Christmas trees to put in everybody's monetization celebration thing. There's a little extra thing to say thank you all for your patience. We appreciate it. So I'm fixing those up. I've got packages sitting here. I'm going to go through the emails and get back to everybody's emails. And I will tell you that we are going to be doing a more proactive next year once I feel like, I'm not saying you're not going to see me in January, but you're going to see a little less of me. And we're going to really work to get some of this stuff, like, I've kind of gotten off the mark with the jokes and all that kind of stuff. And I got to upload a Bible verse. We did get Josh uploaded a cookie recipe, so we got that one up today. But I need to do a better job with my mom's help and get that stuff all scheduled out so that it's just not something that I have to think about doing. I want to change how we do that. We're going to have Amazon store for you all eventually. Things that we really like that you guys could go to the Amazon store and order if you like the same thing, and we can tell you about it. We're going to be getting with Brand Connect or Content and Connect. Something like that. It's through YouTube, but we're going to do that. And maybe there'll be some brands that we can look at and, maybe things that we love and we can share with you all. We're going to be wrapping gifts. I've told people do that on Thursday or Friday, Thursday or Friday. I haven't decided which day, but one of those days. And I told them they can't watch the stream that day, but you guys are going to help wrap some gifts. So we're going to do that. And I'm looking forward to crafting. And then this week I'll put out the bean recipe. Then we're going to have the singing video come out this week. I will do my best. That's all I can promise. And then we're going to do, can't think. We're going to do the sand art brownie recipe. And all of those the PDFs for the recipe the recipe will be in the description. If you want the PDF, it will be in our merch store for a couple dollars. That way, if you want to download it and make it real simple and easy for you to give it as a last minute gift, you can do that. So we will go through the bean recipe. I did get some things to paint pour on. If we have a chance, just figured we'd take them and maybe we'll do something crafty with them. Who knows? I mean, it'll just be things if we choose to paint pour. But everybody's really been liking the paint pour, and I like it. And Sandy, I washed that dress for your goddaughter. I just felt it needed to be washed. It hadn't been washed for a while. Sorry. So my mother washed it, and as soon as it dries today or tomorrow, I will get it out in the mail. I promise you. And if you want me to put a little note with it from you, let me know. You can message me. So if you go back to the auction live, everything is still available. The dress is not available anymore, which I'm very glad that it went to somebody so special. Looking forward to that. For those that didn't know, we did not get to Advent day 14 and 15. So as soon as this is over, I'm going to go record that. I'm going to go, I think I'm probably going to head to bed. I'm just that tired, guys. And I need to rest. I feel it. I may try to do a couple Granny Squares before I go to bed, finish a movie I'm watching, and then I'm going to go to bed. We have the Got You Covered recipe that's coming out tomorrow for the cookies. So I figure I can do computer stuff tomorrow, but I need self-care, right? I think one day this week that's going to be a topic we're going to talk about, self-care. I think it's an important topic. So that's the schedule. We're having lots of fun here at Blessed to Crochet. If you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. But come, I promise we won't hurt. Bunch of wonderful, welcoming people. We love you. So we're going to take a moment. It is never expected. It is always appreciated. For anybody that is able to become a channel member or is a channel member, we are so grateful. You allow extra content on the channel for those that are able to. We love each and every one of you. So if you're not and you're part of the replay crew, we appreciate that tremendously. But we just want to take a moment and just thank all of our channel members.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I don't know if you can see it, but when that thing is happening, I'm sitting in the chair dancing just a little bit, right? I'm doing a little dancing. While that's playing. So anyway, well, thank you. We love you right back, Lazy. We love each and every one of you. I want you to know how much we appreciate you and how much I appreciate you, how much you all really help me day by day. You all have made a huge difference in this girl's life. I have friends in a way I've never had before. And when you pop in the chat and you say hi, even if it's just for a few minutes, when we go live, it lights me up. I love it. I love seeing all of you. I think about you. You all are being prayed for, and you all mean a lot. A lot of you are friends. A lot of you are lifeboat family. Some of you become sisters and brothers. And I'm grateful. I think another thing we're going to talk about, I think it's important, and I kind of talked about it a little bit today as we were going to church, was your difference between, can you have a family and have that support, but then can you also have a chosen family? And the answer is yes, yes. But just because I have a wonderful family support, and I do, and Mr. Blessed to Crochet and my mom and my daughter and my son, all those, and in his side of the family, can you add family members and have a chosen family? And the answer is yes. You know, my daughter, who is losing her aunt to cancer, and the other family member that has chosen to disconnect, Mona and Kristen have come into Christina's life and chosen to say, listen, we're going to become aunties to this girl. She needs it. tremendously. She's losing 2, she's gained 2. And I am very grateful to those 2 ladies that have literally come in and just surrounded Christina with, we're not going to replace those, but we're going to come beside you in that role. And Kristen's like a sister to me. And her little boy, I've said, you know what? I have a nephew, and I consider him a nephew. I think you really can. I don't think you can have enough really just people surrounding you. I have sisters and brothers. I consider Brazy and Sandy, and I just have brothers and sisters in a way I will never have in real life because I was an only child. But it doesn't take away from my family support. It just adds. And the more we can add to our family and connection points, guys, the better. I'm going to preach it. And that's one thing that we'll talk about on the why is connection so important. I don't know if it's so important for everybody else, because maybe they haven't had a life-changing impact over it. But I did. Honest to God, I did, in a very powerful way. And it made such an impact on my life. And you've made such an impact on my family's life that I feel like I need to spread it out. Connection doesn't fix everything. There's only one that does. And he doesn't even fix everything, in the sense of his will be done. That's what we have to say. His will be done. Because what I would like him to fix is I'd like him to heal Patty, but maybe that's not what he's going to do. That may not be the way he wants to do it. And he does it in his will, and his will be done. But connection helps us get through this thing we call life. Whatever you're dealing with, I can guarantee if you put connection with it, you're going to make yourself a better person. There are sometimes I still crave to eat things I know I shouldn't eat, but I don't do it like I used to, because I know I can come to connection and deal with it. I better deal with the pain than deal with the 10 pounds I've gained because I've decided to hide it. At the end of the day, I'm still going to deal with the pain, but I'm going to do it around people that I love, people that I feel safe with, people that have adopted me as sister, and friend, and sit there and taking it. I said to a very close friend at church today, I said, I've really had to do a fine line. And I said, because I still talk about God in lives at times, and I'm not trying to soft pedal my faith. And there will be times next year where we're going to do devotions live. I think that's important for the community, for people that want to come into that. But I said, I really wanted to make my lives without, there's a Bible, and kind of thumping it over somebody's head. I can talk about my faith, but I kind of diet back a little bit, because I want everybody to come in and feel welcome. If they do not believe what I believe or what we believe, that's fine. If you are struggling, I don't want you to struggle by yourself. So I'm kind of taking the route of what the lifeboat's taking, right? They kind of keep that out of their lives because they don't want to stop anybody from coming on in. If people want to see the devotions, it's why they're pre-recorded. They can watch them. She said a very important thing to me. She said, you know what? Your presence may be all that they need. They're going to see something different in you, and it may be, what's different about that girl? It's like watching Awakened by the Looking Glass, and I've said to her, if I wasn't a Christian, and I don't say that lightly. I don't say, I'm a Christian, and I'll pray for you. No, I don't. If I wasn't a Christian in that sense, if I wasn't walking and knew who my Savior was, I would be running. I wouldn't be walking. I would literally be running to Misha saying, what are you doing? What are you using? What are you believing? Because anybody that knows her story and can be at the end of the day still praising the Lord, even through all of her struggles and all of her hardships, and trigger warning, the murder of her daughter, and still be lifting God up in praise. I got to find out what do you have? I want to know. I'd be running to that. And so sometimes, whether we're walking in that direction or we're walking whatever direction we need to walk in, if we can show love to people, then people are going to be running to find out what you're doing. What's about you that's different from other people? And sometimes us as Christians, that's all we need to do. We need to show them love for them to see it. Hi, Megan. How are you? They need to see it because they're not going to see it when we just, no. And that's one of the reasons why this song that's going to come out, I'm going to do my best to sing. I will release it without my voice. I want you guys to listen to the words that Scott sings and that he put in this song. And I want us to practice this song, not just at Christmas, but all year through. Because at the end of the day, Christmas is a season of love. It's a season of giving, and it cannot have to be material giving. It can be time, giving of your time, right? And that we need to be looking at it from that perspective versus the perspective of looking at it from anything else. So anyway, I want us to carry Christmas spirit all year through. There is nothing wrong with that because at the core, love is at the core of Christmas. Okay. So one of the times we're going to talk about, well, can you choose your family? Even if you have a family support? Absolutely. Absolutely. Build more connection, the better. And it's so true. So I'm going to get off here. I'm going to record 14 and 15. Our members will see that first. It's just a perk we do with the Blessed Disco Balls. We do that first, and then it'll be released to everybody about 11:30 at night. If you have a cookie recipe, we're still accepting cookie recipes. You do not have to have content on your channel to go ahead and do that. We are very thankful for those cookie recipes that come in, the stories behind them, whether they're as simple as these are good cookies to whatever story is given, has been so neat to see. So grateful. We also have our Lighthouse Beacons Facebook group if anybody's interested in joining that. And anybody that submits a cookie recipe, we do have a special Facebook group for you guys to really connect and make those connections stick until next year for when the cookie recipe thing reopens again. And we're going to accept cookie recipes all year through because we want you all to get it to us, and then we can get it in the hopper and put it out months in advance. Not put it out, but at least get it ready to go so it can be done when it's supposed to. There's a small quantity little town in Italy that celebrates Christmas season year-round with carols on the streets since they lost track of time centuries ago. I love that. I think that's so cool. I have to admit, I'm not somebody that wants to listen to Christmas music all year round, and I'll tell you why. I worked in a mall. That'll tell you that right there. I enjoy the Christmas music, but then when it's over, and I worked in auto malls and all those kind of things, and places where there was Christmas music constantly. And when you have worked 8 hours in a place of that, you are done. You go home, and the last thing you want to hear is Christmas music. Oh my goodness. Somewhere in Sicily, Italy, it's based on a song. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. That haven't winded their clocks yet. Oh my goodness, Alfonso. If you haven't checked out Alfonso's channel, please do. Last night, he took us around with different music from different places. Think they're better. So that's a tip. If you looked at Seventh's cookie recipe, he said he substituted the brown sugar for the white, says it's better. So I'll add that little note in your cookie recipe. But if you haven't, he took us around last night. Last night I paint poured ornaments, which were fun. And he played his music, and he took us literally around the world to different places as he played his music. And it was really neat. I enjoyed that, Alfonso. So everybody have a great night. Let's talk tomorrow about Picture Perfect Christmas. You got a Picture Perfect Christmas yet? Guess what? It's not going to be picture perfect. Nobody's perfect, right? But we can dream of it. And then when things happen, when they happen and the casserole doesn't come out right, or this doesn't get cooked right, or whatever it is. Last year, we order a prime rib from a local restaurant and just go pick it up, and somehow we thought it was already pre-cooked, and it wasn't. And it didn't turn out, I mean, it was delicious, but it didn't turn out as well as it could have. If we had realized and opened the package and realized that it needed to be cooked for about 3 hours prior to my son-in-law and my daughter coming. So we had to kind of jimmy it to get it done in time. And it wasn't as good, but this year we know better. So it's not always going to be picture perfect, but let's remember it's not the presents under the tree. It's the people surrounding you for Christmas. Love them while you're here. And love them while they are here. And that's the connection point, and that's the important part. So thank you, everybody. Thank you again, Bracy, for the super chat. I tremendously appreciate it. It's never expected, but I do appreciate it. And guys, you coming in, hey Jake, means the world to me. I can't express that enough. It means the world, and I thank you, each and every one of you. So stay connected. It is so important. Remember, be proud of being yourself, because everyone else is taken. I'm working on an image in my head. It's just, there's too many images running through this head right now. And then remember, we got you covered. Thank you so much for having us covered. And we will see you tomorrow. This is day 15 of Christmas Connection. We will see you tomorrow for day 16, and be on the lookout for 14 and 15 of the journal. All right. See y'all tomorrow. Have a great night. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. And if you haven't, go check out Josh's latest cookie recipe. Such a cute little picture of my hubby and his mama. He's got cute. You a cute little baby. So have a great night. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great night. Bye-bye, y'all.